Shalom, my name is Jason Wilson, and welcome to the Comprehensive Man series. This is where men committed to being the right man in every moment strive to master the 10 characteristics of the comprehensive man: the fighter, the provider, the leader, the lover, the nurturer, the gentleman, the friend, the husband, the father, and the son. Join me as we rediscover what it truly means to be authentically human and rise to become the man the moment demands. Today, my good brother Marc Spight has joined us to share his journey through one of the 10 characteristics of the comprehensive man. Shalom, brother.
Shalom.
Glad
Peace.
you're here.
Yeah.
Finally get my brother up on the cameras,
Right.
and so many of the men who follow me get to learn more about my brother Marc Spight.
Yeah.
And what you've been through, your story, your testimony is really powerful to me.
Thank you.
Which one of the 10 characteristics that you pick that you wanted to talk about?
The gentleman.
The gentleman.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to read the definition real quick and
Okay.
we'll dive in. All right. The gentleman exudes respect for others and himself through deliberate and appropriate etiquette without compromising his values. Why did you pick the gentleman? Like, I thought it would be the father, the husband, maybe even the fighter, from what I know about you. What made you pick the gentleman?
I think for me, growing up, I was taught to be polite. My mother taught me to open up the door for ladies at the grocery store, or, you know, I would open up the door for her. She would always make sure she emphasized how important it is for a man to be respectful, to talk in a certain tone when he's talking to women, even how to shake, you know, hand. I know you touched on how,
for sure.
you know, the man puts their hand underneath.
Brothers be shaking women's hands like this. How you doing? You good?
Right.
You good?
You know,
Yeah,
and so
nah.
she taught me that, you know, a woman's hand's supposed to rest over the top.
Excellent.
And at
Yeah.
that age,
So you knew that then?
I knew that growing up. Yeah,
You
my
know,
mother taught me.
I didn't, like, I heard about it before, but when I studied it writing this book, I'm like, whoa, I've been shaking women's hands incorrectly. Like, even though you still want to be respectful, because if she doesn't know you in business, she still
Right.
may want to do this.
Right.
But I often, you know, once I do here, I often come here
Yeah.
if she
Yeah.
allows me.
Definitely.
And that's interesting. How old were you when your mother was teaching you about chivalry and being a gentleman?
I was about, I would say, 8 or 9 years old. I remember she had her own business. So we used to vend.
Vend?
Yeah, we used to vend. So she had this special recipe for peanuts.
What is vend? For real? What is,
So we used to go in the market and sell peanuts, and but she had a special recipe that she would sell. So we would go around to different areas, set up like a pop-up shop, and sell these like family recipe peanuts. So
I never knew that, brother. You never shared that with me. That's called vending?
Vending.
Vending,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
So-
is that where they got vending machine from?
I believe so.
Interesting,
Yeah.
okay, good. Yeah, so go ahead, continue.
So when we went around, I would always be around a lot of people. So she would teach us how to speak. If they asked us why we were doing this, I still remember this, it's funny, but we were learning to be entrepreneurs. So we had to really say certain things. So I got comfortable with being around people, comfortable with speaking to older ladies, younger ladies, and she just wanted me to be prepared. You know?
Now, were you always as fly as you are? Like, so everyone, just want to let you know, I've never seen this brother wear the same outfit yet. Like, never. So, I mean, have you always been like dressing the way you do, clean, casual, everything coordinated? I mean, has this always been Marc Spight?
Well, I would say my grandfather was a tailor at Crowley's downtown
Yeah, I remember
in
Crowley's,
Detroit.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
so, so he was very into fashion. You know, tailor. He would tailor make suits for my father, my aunts. And I don't know, maybe it was just in the blood that, you know, he always made sure I had a clean white shirt, I had to learn how to iron my pants, had to learn how to do laundry at an early age. Just the importance to detail was always important to me.
Good.
But it was a time where, I had my tall tees,
sure.
or my baggy jeans, back in the 90s and my Timbs and stuff. So, but I always knew the importance of keeping things clean and making sure every time I step out, I'm presentable.
So, you East Side?
No,
East or West Side?
I'm from Highland Park.
Highland Park, okay.
West Side.
So growing up in Highland Park, HP, was it well received that you were like a gentleman, kind in that community? Or did did the young brothers at that time, did they try to test you, clown you for being kind to women and seniors, etc.?
Well, I think it came across as, for some, men that don't understand what that's about, don't understand, open up a door for a woman, they would say, well, you weak, or, everybody wanted to be a player. So,
yes.
you're not a player, or you're not this or you're not that, because I chose to be respectful. I chose to say, yes, sir, no, ma'am. They thought I was soft. But, they didn't know, like, growing up, I was into, the streets.
Yeah.
I got shot when I was 15. So I knew about that life.
Yeah.
But I just chose to conduct myself in a different way.
What's interesting, we were talking briefly before we started recording about how this culture misconstrues being tough or gangster with the way you dress. So they'll see someone like you and think you will be an easy target. And the way we grew up, the brothers who were the cleanest were the most dangerous.
Right.
The brothers who were the most kind, gentlemen, carry the groceries for a woman walking to a car, especially the elderly. They were the most dangerous men I ever known in my life. And, look at the gangsters, from John Gotti to Mafia, you name it. They all were cleaned and very detailed. And so in my book, The Man, the Moment, the Man, for those of you who have it and those of you who don't, this is the gentleman chapter. And I talk about attention to detail in one part where I had a meeting with a general contractor. And I love even right now, even how you're coordinated, everything is detailed, even how you work here. And I really admire that. And so many of our young boys, which we need to touch on as well, the dining etiquette and grooming etiquette that we facilitate, they need to see what it's like to truly cross the T and dot the I in life, And I share here, I had arranged to meet a general contractor for breakfast, hoping to secure a contract after showing him my ceramic and marble tile portfolio. Just as I had finished cutting the pancakes, I realized that I hadn't washed my hands. I excused myself to use the restroom. When I returned, I reached for my portfolio, but the contractor smiled. He extended his hand and said, I don't need to see your work. You got the job. So, I'm like, my man, every meeting I have to sell a job, everyone wants to see the before and after pictures. There were no iPhones or anything back then or iPads, so all we had was a leather portfolio with pictures printed and put into this portfolio. And so, of course, I was taken aback, like, how are you going to give me this $20,000 job without seeing my work? Unbeknownst to me, I'd already cut my pancakes, but the way I had cut the pancakes, which was unique, it was unique to him, and it became a subconscious habit to me. They were symmetrically cut like a pie chart. And he said to me, because I asked him, I said, why are you going to just give me the job without looking at my portfolio? And he says, anyone who can cut their pancakes like you do can cut my tile any day.
Wow.
So did your mother teach you dining etiquette as well, or your father?
So, yes, my mother, she would take us to nice restaurants. She would show us how to order off the menu, starting appetizer, how to run down and pick, things that would be suitable and how to go about that. She would show us how to hold our utensils.
Really? And how old were you again?
I was young.
What's young?
I would say probably about, we would go about 6 or 7.
And were your parents married, or because you
so
didn't
my
mention your
mother
dad
and father
yet.
got divorced when I
Okay.
was younger.
Okay.
My dad, so when they got divorced, they were here in Detroit. I was born here in Detroit. and my mother moved to Atlanta. And so my dad stayed here in Detroit. He was a factory worker. And so I was always back and forth. So I would spend summers in the D, going to Belle Isle, you know, all that stuff, having fun. And then I would go to school in Atlanta.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so your mother is the one who taught you what
Well,
we see
she
today.
she
Majority.
taught me the majority of it. My father, he was a factory worker, but he was a great communicator.
Got you.
So he really taught me how to communicate, how to speak from my diaphragm, how to walk with my head up. He was really big on confidence.
To be a gentleman,
Yeah.
you have to have the capacity to deal with a lot.
True.
Because if not, you know, being chivalrous will go right out the window. You're having a bad day and you haven't took a moment to what I call the 4 R's, reflect, release, reset, and rest.
Yeah.
You haven't done that and you're upset. You're not going to hold the door open for a woman. You're not going to help an elderly person who's struggling with their groceries because you stressed out. You got a lot on you,
True.
you know. You may not step in and intervene if you see a child getting bullied because your kid just got in a fight, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, it's imperative to be the gentleman that, you know, you take care of yourself. And that's why in the definition where you're caring for others, but you don't compromise your own well-being or your own standards. And I talked about in that chapter as well about being chivalrous. This generation believes that chivalry is pandering to women. And when I discovered that it was the code of medieval knights,
Yeah.
they were the warriors of their day or the samurai of that day. And taking care of the kids, honoring women, respecting women, the elderly, being respectful to others and even yourself. Self-respect was big. What do you think caused the demise of that in I guess, manhood? Like it's, you don't, like if you go to the average manhood seminar,
Yeah.
you rarely hear about chivalry. What do you think like took that away? What's the main cause you think removed chivalry from being the gentleman or in manhood in general?
Yeah. So I think, you know, growing up, I can remember the culture shift almost. You know, the institute, the gangster, the player, the pimp.
Yes, yes.
You know,
The
and
thug.
the thug.
Yes.
So these characters became, you know, what the example of a man is supposed to be.
Got you.
I can remember when Snoop, you know, dropped Doggy Style, and just that whole shift in mentality, you know, and because I can remember Tribe, you know, and all of them came out back in the day, and they were talking about consciousness, you know, going to college, you know, looking after women, protecting the community, and then it kind of shifted. So I think it was, you know, the media.
What was the shift?
I just think
what
that
group shifted that?
You know, I think media had a big play in that. I think hip hop,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
because that was our CNN, that was
Absolutely,
our,
for sure, yeah, definitely.
you know, our news, that was our pulse, you know. So I think that the culture shifted, and guys just felt like they had to be this thug that was cold hearted.
You know, the kindness, it shifted. Even in my heart, the gold standard when I grew up was the hyper-masculine black male.
Yeah.
You know, and so everyone, the nice guys, you couldn't get the girl unless you looked that way or acted that way. And you see it today. You got good-hearted young men, and they trying to be what they call a YN. You know, they're trying to look like, have that look.
Right.
And it's like, my man, this isn't even who you are.
Right.
And so that's why I admire, you know, how you carry yourself, you know, every day. It's like I don't care if you're wearing sweats, brother. It's not even your clothes, it's your aura and how you carry yourself and how you speak with confidence and being respectful. And it's refreshing to see, man. And you had mentioned, so growing up, that you didn't have any resistance from your friends. That's hard to believe, brother. Like, they were cool with you wearing like slacks and everything. Like, I can't, that's just hard to believe.
Yeah, so I know I was a leader, you know, growing up, and I think I was a leader because I was different. And I heard your son Jason talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think that people are just looking for something different. And because I was the way I was, and I still carry myself with confidence because that's how I was taught.
Right.
People started putting on button-ups and I was shifting trends and styles even in my school. Like I remember guys wearing ties because I used to come in with the big tie and have like my look you know, and the way I would wear my jeans with my shoes.
Wow.
And then they started doing it. And the same guys that was talking about me end up coming, and then now they rocking. I'm like, oh, that's...
I mean, how often when we talk to the boys here, you know, when they're dealing with verbal bullying,
right.
You know, when we help them process, really these boys are jealous of you.
That's it.
You know, you're an individual, and you're walking to, you know, you're walking your own path. And that's why I believe it's crucial, even for grown men. It's, you look at social media, all we see is highlight reels, and you know, man is always clean. But where are the down moments?
Yeah.
To me, that's the sign of a gentleman. When life is hard, can you still hold it together and still be respectful?
So,
you know, my mother raised me to be respectful to women, to people in general, to mentor those in need. My father, not so much, you know, he was tough, you know, he was smooth, you know what I mean? But I never had a man really to teach me dining etiquette, grooming etiquette, speaking and communication, you know. Those things were, I wasn't even privy to those things until my 30s almost, brother.
wow.
What would you say to that man who dresses to fit in instead of dressing to how he feels for the day? How would you encourage him to embrace the characteristic of the gentleman?
That's a good question, Jason. I think that I would say number one is you got to open up your heart. And that's difficult, you know.
What does that look like? What do you mean open up the heart?
So for me, like I said, I begin my day with meditation and prayer.
Okay.
I realized that I can't do what I need to do absent of the Father. I need him. I need him every day. And so I think it's important for you to understand who your source is and connect with that part of you, because that's where everything else flows out of.
That's good.
After I got shot, I went on a journey within myself to find out who am I really? Because I was putting on. And I was putting on because I became calloused.
How many men are like that? Like, I can't give you my heart anymore because of what this one woman did. Or if you're married and your wife hurts you, not that she committed adultery, but something she said to you, triggered something from your childhood, and now you're not even open to being romantic or caring or chivalrous while you're out, you know.
Definitely.
There's many husbands, I mean, I fail at sometimes opening the door for my wife, and like, that should be a habit.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm glad you said that, of course, you know, allowing yourself to take the journey through prayer and through meditation and asking the Most High to help you heal from what you've been through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the scriptures say that there is victory when there's abundance of counselors.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You was going to say that to bring, so as that, you've implemented like therapy and counseling to help you as well?
So counseling was important for me, dealing with all of the trauma, but I didn't get that until I was an adult. You know, I didn't get counseling until I was in my 30s. And, you know, think about all those years of, you know, going through the trauma of being shot, being in the streets, being in, you know, all kind of crazy relationships. You know, it was the same way. I just shut those emotions off and felt that this was a protection for me, you know. But therapy helped a lot. I heard somebody say that therapy, what they say, prayer is a weapon and therapy is a strategy on how to move forward. And that's what it helped me to really look at myself, look at the mirror, understand, because I think some trauma we don't even know we have because we live in an environment where everybody's dealing with compound
Everyone
trauma.
has something.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate your time.
Love
man.
you, Jack.
I love you too, man. Thank you.